Hello guys, my name is Goodness. You're welcome to Goody Code. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to build this simple notes application with add display and delete features using addNote. Now, how it works, you can click on this place to add in the title of your note. Let's say meeting. Let's add meeting. Then here, let's add meeting by 9 a.m. Click on add. It gets displayed here. Let's add another one, eating. Eating is our title for note 2. Then eating by 10 a.m. You add. Let's add another one. So each one you type here, once you type in the title and the contents and click on this add button feature, the note is going to display here. Then let's add 4 title and 4 contents. Then let's add add more because we're going to also test the delete buttons. So reading and the notes contents, reading by 1 p.m. add. Now these are the added notes. And let's try to test the delete functionality. Let's delete reading. Reading gets automatically disappeared from on the list of notes we created. Delete eating, and meeting. So that's all we'll be building in this React.js application. So let's get started. So I forgot to mention that this note also have a dynamic dates generator here, or rather dynamic year generator. Copyright at 2024 Goody Code. So this 2024 here is not static. This is dynamic, like it generates dynamically. This year, this date or rather year is dynamically generating. So we are in 2024 now. Once we get to 2025, this 2024 you're seeing here will change to 2025. So it's not static. That's another feature of this application that I forgot to mention earlier. And we'll be learning all this in one video. So tighten up your seatbelt and let's get started. Okay, I'll be using React.js and Material UI for this project. Before that, let's create a folder. I'm going to create a folder in my desktop. Sorry. Let's try to zoom in a bit, a clearer view. Okay, so let's click here, go into File, Open Folder, click on Desktop. Then in my desktop, then here I want to create a folder. Click on New Folder. So I'm just going to name this folder React, I'm going to name it Notes App. Then let's select the particular folder to open in our VS Code. Close this. Control plus backtick to open your terminal. Now in this terminal, since I'm using Vite for this development, what I'm going to do is to just go over to my browser and search vite.js.dev. Enter my connection. Alright, it's connected. Get started. Just scroll down and copy this npm create Vite at latest. So one thing I love about this Vite is that it makes development very fast, faster than create React app. So I love using Vite for my project. So copy to your VS Code. When our Notes app folder, so we'll just paste it here, paste and enter. And let's give it a name. I'm going to give it Notes. Just Notes. Then select React. Use your arrow key. Select JavaScript. We're using JavaScript. Enter. Then what we have to do now is to run these 3 commands here. cd notes, then npm install, then npm run dev. Oh, it's raining. In case you are hearing any sound, just know it's rain. Well, we have to continue. See the notes, then npm run dev. No, sorry, npm install to install Node packages for the projects. Alright, let's type in the third command, npm run dev, to run our project. You can copy this, Ctrl C, move to your browser, and just paste here. This is our Vite and React project. So what we'll have to do is to edit, remove some things we don't need, and add the ones we need for the project. This is our notes file. This is the node modules that was installed. This is our public folder. Let's just get this off the way. I'm trying to remove all the things we don't need here. We don't need this. Get it out. And this thing you're seeing here is because we still have it imported in our app.jxs. So for this to disappear now, we have to also remove these three things. Remove React's Vite logo. I'm also supposed to delete one of the CSS file. In fact, let's remove everything from this. I'm removing this app.css. Delete. Now it's gone because I remove it, all the imported ones from this app.jxs, and also remove those pictures or whatever. So just swipe here, want everything from the beginning. Not everything really, but our app.jxs and most of the files here. We're going to be creating some components. Let's move. I'm left with index.css as my CSS file. I'm going to also remove this to have my own particular style of CSS for my project. I don't need theirs, so I'm getting it off. So I think everything is set now. Now to fasten our development, we're going to use the RFCE, that is the React Function Component and Exports, in order not to start creating everything, writing everything from scratch. But if yours is not working, just go over to your extension, VS Code extension, click on this extension here, and just type in React Windows. I think this is it here. Click on it. Yes, 7 plus React Windows React Native snippet. So just install, click here to install. Like mine, I have it installed on my system. So that's why you're seeing this uninstall here. I can only click here if I want to uninstall it. So since I already have it, there's no need uninstalling it. If you don't have it, yours will be showing install. So you just have to click on the install tab here and then get it installed on your system. So let's get back to our project. App.jxs. Okay, we are here now. This page is now blank. Yeah, because of all the things we removed, we're here to start adding our own components. So let's get back. In our src file, I'm going to create a component here. Click on folder and type in components. This is where I'm going to be creating all the components we'll be needing for this project. Components. Now inside these components, I'm going to be needing a couple of files. I'm going to need header file. So just click on file. The first thing we're going to have is header.jxs, JSX. Then inside this header, we're still going to use the ES7 React function components and exports snippets to create our boilerplates for this particular file. RFCE. We'll be using Material UI components and some icons for this development. So for that, we have to go over to your website to get some components we'll be using for this project. Come over here, type Material UI, Then click on this first one here, materialui.com. We're needing paper components. So type in paper. And this is what the paper looks like here. It has shadow. This doesn't have finish. I think it's supposed to be 3. Yeah, I can't see it very well. Yeah, this one has 0 shadow. That is the first one. 0 elevation. That is the meaning of this elevation is just this shadow here. And this one now, components paper. This is how to use it. First of all, import it. You import it after installing it. After the installation, just type in installation. And when you type in installation, it's going to bring up this npm install as material UI, material emotion react, and emotion styled. So just copy and paste here. So here, click on this plus tab. Open up a new terminal. Then cd to your notes, and then paste, enter. So we're done with the installation. Now let's go back and get some components we'll be using for our projects. Search and click on paper. So let's just copy this particular one here, Ctrl C, and go over to our VS Code. And then inside this place, we're going to remove this div here, and then we'll have our paper components. So let's have like a h1 here, h1 tag. And inside the h1 tag, write react app. Then first of all, we have to import this header component in our app.gss. So inside here, we'll remove this app. We're just removing this one here, this particular one here. Then we'll now bring in our header components from this components./header before you now close. So let's check what we have reloading. Okay, we have our paper here, but this paper is having like rounded edges, and to remove these rounded edges, we're going to use a particular crop. So in our header, inside our paper, let's add elevation to this paper. Elevation equals to 3, and then to remove the rounded border, to remove the border radius, we just write square here. This square will make the box to be square since it's header, so no need of border radius in our header components. And then we're going to be adding some styles to it. There is a space here up here because of this because of this h1 tag. We're going to make the h1 margin to be, we're going to change it to 0. This place should be React notes. Then let's add some inline styling this paper. You can also add another styling here in our index.css. But let's use inline styling. And to add inline styling, we use SX. So the first one we're adding, we add the background. Our background is equal to #F9C31A. Okay, our color is applied, but we have to remove this space here. So let's go back to our Visual Studio VS Code. Let's add a height of 60 px, and then we add class here. We add a class to our h1, and to add a class in React application, we use class name, not just class that we use in CSX. So this is JXX. So we use class name to add a styling. Class name, let's choose h1 header as our class name here. Then in our CSS, index.css, first of all, we have to style our body. We have to remove the default margin from the body. So body, margin 0, min height Mean height should be 100% viewport height of the particular screen that is showing, of any screen at all. And our background color should be hash CCCC, then FF. And to add a font family to our body, we have to go back to, we have to come here. We're still going to remove this one here. We'll not style this H1. That's why you are seeing it like this. Let's add the fonts. Google Fonts. Fonts.google. I like to use this outfit fonts. So let's add in. Then click on Get Fonts. Get embed code. Then click on Import. And then copy this. Ctrl+C. On top of this body, you just paste it. You just paste it here, Ctrl+V, and then go back to copy the remaining one. Now we're copying this font family, sans serif, Ctrl+C. Ctrl+C. I think I deleted something mistakenly. Deleted something without knowing that I deleted something. So let's add it back. CCCC, then FF. Now there should be hash in front to make it a valid color. And then Ctrl+V to paste the font family we copied. The font family is changed. Then I also like to style the header class. Font weight 400, font size normal. Then the color should be white. Then the margin should be 0. Save. Let's check what we are doing. It's not changed. Let me see what I'm doing. The H1H is supposed to be, let me close this. It's supposed to be capital H. That's why it's not applying the CSS styling. The CSS style we gave to this H1 element is not applied. So here it's supposed to be H. So let's save and check. Yeah, this is it. So let's continue with, so since we are done with our header, the next thing we're going to design is our footer section. Before we start adding things to our display area and other one, which is the form. So let's just close this up. In the next component, inside this component, let's create another file. Footer, call it footer, name it footer rather, footer.jsx. Then use our React function components and exports snippets to create a boilerplate, RFCE. Now inside this place, let's have a paragraph. Let's have a paragraph for our footer. Now what are we going to add in this paragraph? So let's add in copyright, then use the and, that is the ampersand, and then copy to get the @ symbol. Then 2024 with the code. But the problem with this thing here is, let's just check first before we change it. Let's add this footer component to our app.jsx. It is static now. We want to make it dynamic because if we leave it like this, it's still going to show like this even when we are done with 2024. When we get to, if we get to 2025 or any other year in the future, this thing is still going to be showing 2024, and we don't want that. You don't want that for any of your application. So to avoid that, we have to use a JavaScript date method, or date function rather, to change this, to make it dynamic, to dynamically fetch the year depending on the particular year we are in. So we add a curly brackets to make it a JavaScript code. We have to add, to make it a JavaScript code, we have to add a curly bracket here, and then type new date method dot get full year, because we're dealing with year, so dot get full year method. Now since we are in 2024, what is going to display is 2024 in our app. So let's check. Now it is still 2024, the same thing that displayed earlier, but the difference now is this one is dynamic. So when we get to 2025, this will change to 2025, then 2026, 2027, it will keep on changing like this, like that, without you even touching it. So that's the good thing about this date method, about making your dates dynamic. So to avoid the headache of going back to your application and keep on changing this each year, and you might even forget that you didn't change it. So in order to avoid all those stress, all those headache, it's just better we'll make it dynamic. So let's style it, go over. So we add in class name here, and then give it footer. So let's style it. Width should be 100%. Paste a line center. Let's give it a color of gray. Let's give it a margin top of 15 px. Okay. Then I think we're done with this for now. Once we add in content, it's going to move down. We're done with footer components also. So I think that's all for the styling. The next thing we're going to do is design our form, our notes form. So we're going to create another component in this folder. Click on File, New File, then type notes form. Give it a name of notes form .jsx. Then again, let's use our RFCE or boilerplates. And we're also going to use React's paper components from Material UI for this particular file. So let's just type in, since we're done with the installation of, we've installed the Material UI in our system. So let's just have our paper here, paper, then click on this first auto suggestion from Material UI and then close it up. And don't forget to add /paper here. Okay. Then in this paper now, we are going to have a form and two text field where the user can type in the title of the notes in the first text field and the main note contents in the second text field. Inside our form, let's have a text field, and this text field is from Material UI. Also, is a component from this Material UI. Text field, this is its Material UI component. This is it. This is how to use it. Go and add it. Text field. And click on the first auto suggestion to automatically import this particular text field. You see, it's imported here. Text field is imported. Alright, so then let's close it up. Then we'll have a second one. So let's just duplicate this. And inside this first one, so let's have a label attributes here. Label should be notes title. Then autocomplete should be off. Then we have full width. And we also have the same thing here. We have a label attributes, notes contents. Autocomplete should also be off. And then full width. And this should also have a multi-line. Since this is the main notes area, multi-line should be row. And row should be, I think 3 should be enough. Okay. That is it for our text field. And let me just break this down. Oh, I'm actually looking for the text field here, but the thing is, I've not added it to app.js, so there's no way it's going to display here. For it to display here, I have to add it to app.js. I have to add the components to app.js. So this notes form should be added here. I'm looking for what I didn't put there. Notes form. It's also imported here, and then close it up. How can you be looking for what you didn't add? Okay, let's check. Our note title and notes component. Now this is looking very big here because I zoomed it for clearer view. Okay, let's style it a bit. We are styling this our paper. I don't know why this is appearing. So let's use XX for inline styling and add in a double curly bracket for the styling. And we'll have padding to be 25. Sorry, this is not supposed to be like this. 25px top and bottom, and 50px left and right. And we have margin. Our margin should be 10px top and bottom, and 10% for left and right. Let's check our style. Okay, this is this is okay. But now I feel like I need to bring down this a bit. But we can also leave it like that. Let's go back and continue what we're doing. So we're done with this styling. The next thing we have to do is add our button. Yes, we'll be needing button in this file. And after our form, let's add in a button. So for that button, we'll also be using a material UI components for the button. So we'll be using a fab component from material UI. So let's have floating action button. That's the meaning. Click on the first auto suggestion to import it here. Then close this up. And inside this fab, let's check first to see, okay, our fab is here. Our fab is here, so we're going to style this fab. We're going to use inline styling for this fab. SX, double curly brackets, then margin top. Margin top should be 20 px. Let's check and see. Okay, this is okay like this, but we have to add in another thing here. We need to add in plus icon here to indicate that this is actually adding our notes title and components. We'll go back to our notes form. In this place now, inside this fab is where we're going to have the add icon. Click on the first auto suggestion. Do we even have this? We don't have. We have to import material UI icon. Yes. Let's go back to this page. Material UI. I don't know why this closed. Oh, my network is bad. Okay, the network is back now. Click on this first one. Then type in material UI icon. Since we've already installed this and this, so what we just need is this material UI icons. So I'll just copy from here like this, Control C, and go back to my VS Code, and then click on this plus icon, and now change directory to my notes, and then paste to install it. So since we're done installing this, let's just close the terminal for clearer view, and then still adding the icon again. Add, click on the first auto suggestion to import it up. Let's check to see if it's imported. Yeah, it is imported here. Icons, add from icons, and then close this up. Let's check to see if it's added. Oh, there's nothing here. Okay. Let's restart. Alright, the plus icon is here. So what we have to do now is I want to color this. I want to give it, please don't mind the dog. It's currently 2:39 a.m. in the morning. That's why the dog is barking. Okay, this is added here. What I want to do now is to add a color to this plus icon. Let's go back to VS Code and close this up. And then inside this add icon, let's have inline color styling. I want to add the same color I have in my Is it my header is the same color I want to add? So let me just go back, go to my header and copy the color, background color. Control C. And then close it off. As I'm done with you. And then paste it here. Let's check if the color is taking effect. Yeah, the color is there, but I need it to be bolder. Like, I need to increase the fonts of the plus icon. So what I'll do now is add in font size. Font size, I think I should use 35 px. To make it bolder. Yeah, this is okay. Now this is okay. So I think we're done with this particular page, like the styling of this particular page. So what is remaining is to add in the code. So let's also quickly style the remaining components before we'll start writing the main code for the note application. So let's add the last components. Inside this folder, let's add in a new file. Why is this showing me like I didn't save something? Whatever. So in this component, let's just add in the last one, which is, I'm just going to name this notes, notes.jxx. Let's also use the R, React function components and exports, our boilerplates. And then in here, so in this place, we're not having any, we're just gonna have like h1 here, h1 tag here, and this is gonna hold our notes or title, sorry, title here. And under here, we have a paragraph. And this paragraph is going to hold our notes. I'll just write notes here. We're going to replace this. Well, we're going to replace this write-off with props. So for now, I'm just leaving it like this. Okay, I think there's nothing much to do in this page for now. So here we also have to add in, we have to add, this div here is for styling these two items. So let's just cut this div out and add in our paper. Control X, then paper, and then paste the div here. So we just give this one a class of class name, title, header, Whatever, title and components. I'm just gonna name it like that. Title, title and content, sorry, not components. Title contents. I'll use it to style these two things later. And then inside this space, I'm gonna give it inline styling SX. Before this, let's add elevation to it. Elevation 3, then XX, mean height. Mean height should be 100 px. And mean weight should be 200 px. So let's add this to our app.jxs and check what it looks like in our browser. So here we have our notes components. Click on the first auto suggestion to import it in this file. So let's see what it looks like in the browser before we continue to style. It's not showing. What's going on? Notes. Notes again. Already included file name. The file is in the program because okay, maybe I should change this name. Since I gave my projects that same name, let's go back and change it. This notes, rename to notes area. So I have to also update here notes area and the defaults delete and then change it in my app.js notes area notes area. So the name I gave to my file was conflicting with the name I'm giving to my component. I have to change the notes, the previous notes I gave to the notes display component. I'll not check the browser to see if that works. Let's check the browser. Oh, what is this? Why am I having 1, 2, what? I think there's a mistake. I think instead of now my notes is showing, the notes area is showing. So the problem was because of me using the name. I don't know, I can't use the same name I gave to my component, the same name I gave to my file, like when creating the Vite project. So I use notes for that, and also use notes for my components area for displaying notes. So that was why it's refused to display, but I just changed it now. It's good to see this all these errors sometimes, because things you never thought are not possible or are possible. You just find out that they are not possible, or they are possible. So now what I wanted to add into three places was this particular one, the note area, and I think I mistakenly used this one, duplicates this one into three places. That's why you're seeing three here. 1, 2, 3. So I should go back to my app. Yeah, that is it. So this is what I should add. 1, 2. I think this should be enough. And then I'll remove this to the notes form. So let's check. Okay. So what we'll have to do now is to style this notes. So we're not going to leave it the way it is. We're not going to leave it the way it is here, this place. We're going to change it later when we start writing our code, because yeah, we're going to change it later. So for now, let's style it. Our notes area, let's style this particular notes area. So we have to start this div, the div that is housing our title and our notes contents display area. So copy to index.css to style it here. Dots Control V. So we have here to be display flex direction. We change it to column, and then padding. We're going to add a padding to the contents in our display area. Let's use 2rem for that. Okay, we still need to do some things, so we need to still style it more. We just style this. So we have to style this paper. We have to add some more styling to this paper. So adding 10px, display inline flex. Let's check. Alright, we still need to add more styling to this. So we have to add margin. We have to add margin of 10px. Okay, we have our margin. Now I think this should be enough for now. So one more thing we need to do here is to add a floating action button. So let's just cut this thing from here. So you can see it's very well. What the heck are you? So we need to add a floating action button here. After this div, let's add a file. Click on this to auto import. Now inside this file, we're going to add delete icon. We're going to add this delete icon. So let's check. Okay, we have our delete icon here. We're going to add the color to this bucket, to this delete icon, and then move it downward. So let's quickly do that. Then inside this file, here first, and just finish up with the color first. I thought I still have that. Okay, let's just window view to select. I think I have that color. Right. What's that? Okay, so what I want to do now is to move this downward. We're going to style the fab, the floating action button, SX. Then in here, let's add a margin top of 8 rem to push it downwards. Okay, I think this is okay for now. So I think we're done with this notes area. So the next thing we're going to do is, okay, we're done with all this styling. So the next thing we're going to do is start working on our notes form. Start working on this notes form. And first of all, we have to import use states. Use states from React. And then under this place, let's create a states variable using array destructuring. Const notes, let's use notes, comma, set notes, equals to use state function. I will set this note, this first one here, this first variable here represents the initial value that is here. Anything you provided here is represented by this. So this one now is the initial value, while this particular set note is the state variable that you're going to use to update the initial value. So this our initial value now is going to be a contain two objects that is actually empty. So the first one is going to contain two, which is title. This is the initial value for title, and then contents. Later on, we're going to use this set note. We're going to use this set note to update this title and contents. So let's go down and add some things, some attributes to our text field. So here, let's add a name and value attributes. Here, name becomes title for this first one, and value becomes this note here dot this title here, because it's the first one. Since we already destructure it. So we're using this to get the value. Now notes dot title is the value for the first one. Then the second one, let's copy this and paste. Let's copy from notes. Okay, I think I still need one more thing, that is the onChange function. onChange will be set to handleChange function. We're going to write this function later on. Let's copy from this name value and just change what's inside. Ctrl C. Just paste it here. Ctrl V. And this place now becomes contents. Which is the second value up here. I feel like this is too long. Which is this second value. This title now is the first field, while this is the second. So contents, and value now becomes notes.content. Notes.content. And then onChange is also handleChange. So we're going to use the same function for both of them. For the first, for first and second field. So what we have to do now is to write the handleChange function. So under here, under this place, we're going to write this handleChange function. handleChange. Sorry. It's a function actually. Const. I'm going to use arrow function for it. Const handleChange is equal to arrow function so let's pass events. For this event now will help to handle the user's inputs. Let's pass it as a parameter here, and then under here we just have const. So using the ES6 destructuring, we're going to destructure our name and title objects equals to events.target. Then under here we now now we have to update the states variable. Set notes. And to update our states variable, we'll pass the previous note as a parameter because we're going to use it later on in this block, in this particular block. Arrow function, and then in this arrow function we'll return, using the JavaScript spread operator, we'll return the previous notes, and then add in the new notes. Sorry, there's a mistake here actually. This place is supposed to be value. No wonder it's telling me that value is not defined. It's supposed to be value, not contents. So we are done with our onChange test. Let's check if we can add in something here. So the second function we need to add here is so in our app.cxs, we're going to add our display notes, our add note function, delete note function, and we use the array map method to display the notes, to display our notes here. So for that, we're going to import the use state here, import our use state, import use state from React. Then under this place, let's define our state variable. Let's create our state variable const. Here becomes notes, comma set notes equals to use state function, and the initial value is empty array. That is this note's initial value. The initial value here for this state variable is empty array. Now set notes, we then pass in our previous notes as a parameter, previous notes. Arrow function. Then we'll now return using the ex6 spread operator to return our previous notes and the new notes. Copy this addNote and then go over to our form, our note form, and add it as a prop. So addNote becomes equal to addNote function, and add it as a prop. So after adding it here, we also take it to our note form and then add it here as a prop using the curly braces, curly brackets, Ctrl V, add it, and in our fab, we're going to add on-click events in our fab button. On-click, and then set this to handle add function, which we're going to write now. I'm going to write this function, Ctrl C. Now to create our handle click function, then just below this particular function here, let's just move this up a bit. Below this function here, we're going to write our handle add. Is that what I gave it? Is that the name I gave it? Okay, handle add function here. So const handle add is equal to arrow function, and then we use the add function we had earlier, and then we use this addNote function. We call this addNote function, which we're using here as a prop. We'll call it inside this handle add. In addNote function, and then we'll now add in our notes here. So let's check and see what we're doing. Okay, We've not written anything for display yet. Before we check this, let's just quickly go back to app.js and write a display code using our map function. So we just delete this too, and then cut this off here, Control X. Then inside this place now, we're going to have curly brackets, and then use this notes.map function and this function accepts two parameters. The first one is the single notes, which represents each note in the array, and then the second one is the index of the notes. Now open. So inside this place now, we paste the components, the notes area component that we got earlier, and then have our ID as a prop. ID is equal to index. ID is equal to this particular index here, index of each array. So the second prop we have is contents. The second prop we have title and we have contents as our prop. So we're going to use this first this first parameter that represents each array to look through to get those props. So what we are going to do now is title becomes equal to this note here dot title. Content becomes equal to I just added this title, contents, and ID as a prop in our notes area. Sorry, there's a mistake here. This is supposed to be arrow function here, not just equal to. So what we'll have to do next is just check. Alright, the display and add notes function is working. I just have to add the title and content prop in our notes area so that whatever we type in and add will display in the notes area. I want the title and content inputs field to be empty. Once a user type and add in their notes, the field should be empty. So what I want is to set it to an empty string, to set this title and content input field to be empty, so that once we type and add in notes, the field should just be empty. Let's work on that quickly. Alright, it's working now. The delete button is not working because we've not worked on it. So let's work on the delete button quickly. Under this add note function, let's write our delete function code. Const delete is equal to arrow function. Then we'll pass in our ID as parameter. Then we have our set nodes using the previous node as our parameter. Using the JavaScript array filter method, we'll return previous nodes dot filter method. And this filter method takes in two parameters. The first one is nodes, and the second one is the index of that particular node. So what this array filter method does is that it returns the second version of the first array, or should I say duplicates version of the first array that only meets the set condition. So whatsoever any condition we are going to set here, so this duplicate version is going to return only the particular array that meets that particular condition that we set here. So the condition, which is this line of code, is set to return only the index that is not equal to the ID of the nodes being clicked. In other words, only the index that is equal to the ID of the particular nodes being clicked will be deleted. That makes sense. I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying, but just go through it. It's not easy for you to understand just by me looking at it. Just go through it and try to write the code or write along, then try to wrap your head around it to understand what's going on here. That's what the filter method does. So it's returning the duplicate version of the first array, but this time it's only returning the ones that met this particular condition. Let's quickly add this delete nodes to as a prop. Okay, so I just added this delete nodes function as a prop here. So the last thing we have to do is to add onClick function here. So add onClick attributes in our delete button, and then write handleDelete nodes. Use this as a function. Let's create a handleDelete function. Control C. Then come over here. So under this place now, const Control V equal to arrow function. Then inside this place now, what we'll do is we'll pass in this delete nodes function. And then pass in ID. So let's check and see if it's working now. So let's check. Let's delete title here. Oh, one last thing we have to do, we have to do is to pass in the title and contents here in this place as a prop. Pass in title here, and then we'll pass in contents here. Contents. So let's check It should be fine now. Let's delete. What? Okay, I think I just removed the return here. Let's see if that works. We've come to the end of this React Notes application. Please like, share, subscribe for more tutorials like this, and see you in my next one.